Wow.
What changed? Nothing. Absolutely nothing has changed.
COVID.
Not even COVID. Other than COVID's still here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it went up by $500.
For nothing.
Did anybody else's deductible go up? Anybody take a look at it?
Yeah, everybody, somebody else has deductible. Everybody did.
You know what else went up? Housing. Anybody paying rent? Right? Rent went up.
Yep, rent.
Food went up.
Food went up. Insurance went up. Gas went up. And guess who we put in office? I got nothing to say. Got nothing to say.
Republican that's trying to get even more.
Guess what we did? Did we put anybody in there that's gonna change anything?
No.
You got Republicans and not Democrats.
There you go. Go for the change. So I say that because if prices, yes, sir.
But the sad part about it is, only 39% of blacks
Went out to vote.
and he only won about 200,000. If the other 61% had gone
out to vote.
51, we
Yes.
may have
Okay,
changed
guys,
something.
but it
So
had
you
to
know what?
change.
Don't complain.
We can't be lazy. I'm here to kill lazy today.
Okay, there.
All right, I'm here to kill lazy today. I'm here to kill lazy.
Exactly.
Why we need to kill lazy? Because lazy is costly.
Yes, it is.
Okay?
Exactly.
Lazy is costly.
You cannot kill lazy when the horse is going through the gate already.
Exactly, brother.
Well, you know what you do? You go run after him, and you lasso, and you pull him back. As you say, I'm not going to work. I'm not going to do this. Why do I say that? First of all, things that can be expensive. So I'm going to talk. I'm being real today. You know, I'm on the real tip for this month.
Okay.
We're being real. Let's talk about medications. Okay? Now, the good thing for most seniors, you guys, if you stay in the generic realm, generic, right? You're paying zero for your medications.
Go to tier 2.
Oh, right? Okay, we're going there. Now, we're talking about the real, and we're talking about money.
Right.
Now, generics, a patient will say, well, I got a generic and this time it was green, and the next time it was pink, and then when I went to Walmart it was white, and then the next time I went to CVS and it was yellow.
Yep.
Why they do that?
Because it's
It's
generic.
generic.
Oh, they can change color like
And
Anytime they
generic
get ready.
means, first of all, when something has a name,
It's
a name brand,
Right.
all that means is that they have a patent.
Right.
Okay, that means that brand, take for instance, they used to be, let's give you a good, Z-Pack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Z-Pack, for a very long time, pretty much back when I started practicing, over 20 years, Z-Pack was the name brand for the generic Zithromax. Now, a patent usually lasts about 10 years. When it's under the name brand, it's also under the money.
Yeah, because they got to make their money back. That they
Because they created that medication and theoretically they get a patent on it that allows for 10 years, nobody else can make that drug. That's what a patent means.
Right.
Nobody can make that drug.
Yeah, they put their name on it.
So after the 10 years is over,
generic.
here comes generic. Generic means many or any company can make the name brand drugs. So if Drug India makes it, it's yellow. Drug Company Canada makes it, might be pink. If Drug Company Mexico makes it, it might be white. But it's the same medication.
Right.
Okay? And many of us, and I don't know what's in it, but by law,
It's the
the
Same thing.
Got this thing. They have
the
active
basic or the good term, active ingredient. That's the thing that does the work.
Yes.
has to be the same. Now, what doesn't have to be the same? The color.
Yes.
The color, the flavor, the smell, the shape.
Yeah.
It don't matter. But the active ingredients, I don't want you spending no more money on things because you're stuck on name brand. Now remember, name brand because they want more money and get more money, advertise more. So they bombard the television, get your Z-Pack today, you know, as opposed to pick up your Zithromax, okay? They will say get NyQuil instead of getting guafenicin. Guafenicin is a cough syrup. That's in Robitussin, it's in NyQuil, it's in tons of medication for cough. The active ingredient is guafenicin. But go get me some NyQuil. Go get me Mucinex. It's not better. Okay? And then you're standing there. I do it myself. I'm standing there at the pharmacy, and then I see the name brand, and then I get Wally brand, CVS brand, or Publix brand, and I'm thinking, you know, now,
Just compare the insurance.
exactly. So I want you to not be lazy, turn the package over, take the name brand and say, what's the difference?
Yeah, right.
What's the difference here?
Active ingredients the same.
If it all says guafenicin, pick up the cheaper brand,
Right.
okay? And save your pocket.
That's what I-
Diphenylhydramine, Benadryl, Benadryl. Benadryl you can get for like $2, diphenylhydramine, but if you buy that name brand, you're spending almost $5.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're at the dollar store, you might get for $1.50.
Okay.
Okay?
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
If it says diphenylhydramine,
Somebody want
pick it up.
You,
Okay.
when you pay that $5, you're paying for the name brand.
You're paying for the package, and have
Right.
you ever noticed the generics are plain?
Right.
It's like white box with a baby green little wrapping on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in the name brand.
Right.
Get caught up in the outcome, the function. How does it work? You know? Now, I'm gonna be real though. There's certain meds that you don't want the generic. For
Right.
some reason, there are 3 that I found that if you can tolerate the generic, sure. But if you don't and something makes you feel weird, it's because it's one of these 3. Coumadin.
Yeah.
Okay.
For some reason, Coumadin acts different in everybody. Some people need 5 milligrams, some people need 2. Some people need 7.5, and everybody's different. And sometimes you cannot take the generic because it just doesn't work right. Thank God they got rid of it for the most part.
I used to take Coumadin.
Right.
It was terrible.
It was terrible, you know? The other one that tends to really want to stay by the name brand, and I'm just saying this, it's not because I get any money for it, is Synthroid. If you have thyroid disorder, some people can tolerate the generic of Synthroid, but there are a lot of people who get side effects from it, like the headaches and other things. I don't know why, you know? Try a generic. If you have no problems, save your money. But if it causes you problems, then you know why. Okay? But definitely the over-the-counter stuff, don't bother. Bear aspirin.
Baby.
It's aspirin.
Aspirin.
It's aspirin. You get a whole 100 in a bottle
right.
at the dollar store.
Right.
100.
I want to see bear.
Why are you going to pay $5 for
Because you want to pay for
Bear?
the name
And you
brand.
get 30 tablets.
There you go.
It's the tiniest little bottle.
And they are.
Name brand.
Yeah, kill name brand, right? Laziness. Here's another thing. Not only lazy, but being shy. Quit shy.
Yeah.
You're sitting at the doctor's office,
About what fit my pocket.
and the doctor says, I'm writing you a prescription for X, right? And it's maybe it's for your blood pressure, whatever it is. Doc, is there a generic for that?
First day.
Ask the question. Don't be shy. Don't think you're overstepping your bounds by saying, hey, doc, is there a generic for this? Because I'm going to tell you with your insurance, you have generic,
Right.
then you start at the thing called tiers.
I know, okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Tier, and it goes tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, all the way down. And every time you get a higher number, the costs go up. So you go from 0 to maybe $2, and then it goes to maybe $5, and then it goes to 30%. Now you know it's expensive when they stop telling you numbers and start talking in percent. You're gonna pay the percentage of the cost, okay? So you know there's a sly one coming in here, okay? So don't be shy, don't be lazy. Ask your doctor, is there a generic equivalent? Now, a law was passed that the pharmacists are supposed to give you the option,
Right.
but not everybody on their game.
They not.
Okay, not everybody is on their game. If you don't go up there and you get this name brand, excuse me, is there a generic equivalent to this, please? Because I'm not about to pay tier 3 if I can get a generic equivalent, right? And then say something, well, unless it's approved by your doctor, it's always approved to get a generic equivalent. You literally, as a physician, we have to check a box when we write your prescription that says, anybody know the word? Medically necessary. If we don't check the box, medically necessary, they're supposed to give you generic, you know? But, I don't know who's getting kickback.
Yeah.
So, since we can't investigate, don't be shy, don't believe, say, excuse me, is there a generic equivalent to this? So you can save your money.
In the doctor's office, they have a number of people who come in and, throwing their product. And
Yes.
the doctor gives you
Yes.
what they get, cause he gets a
Percentage.
Yeah.
No, we don't get percentage. I
No?
know, you think we do, I wish we did.
No?
If I could get a if I could get a percentage, we get nothing.
The drugs no good.
They ruined the game, you don't
Wow.
understand. Back in the
No.
80s, they came
that's
out with
funny.
this thing where you can't get any money. I can't even get a dinner.
Wow.
They used
That's
to.
funny, I thought they did.
They sure did. We get trips, we get meals, we'll
I
get,
know.
it can't be anything over, I think, like $30. And it has to be for the entire office.
Wow.
So if they do bring a meal, it can't be like they taking me to the Red Lobster.
Right.
You know, it's gonna have to be some
Service.
donuts and cupcakes
Yeah.
for the whole office.
Exactly.
No,
That's
if
funny.
the amount of I write like 30, 40 prescriptions a day. And if I could get $5 for each one of
Yeah,
them
you don't need
and
a
multiply
job.
that baby by the 30 years I've been in practice, $1 million. I would be a millionaire.
I know,
I'd be
right?
strolling in,
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Oh, that's so funny, cause
No,
I really
girl.
thought they did.
I wish we did. I wish we
Wow.
did. No. Why doctors
Do
usually
the
get,
pharmacy get a percent?
I don't know what they get.
I know.
But I know they don't get what I get.
I know you
Zero.
don't.
You know?
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm
But-
saying. If they don't get it, I'm sure the pharmacist might.
Yes,
They may or may not.
they
This
might
is
get
a drug.
it, cause they dealing
What
with the
they
insurance
said
company.
is because, what they said to doctors, it's
I
called
don't
the
think so.
Stark Law.
Right,
Stark.
So it's
I don't
the
know
actual
what
law.
that is, but Stark. Stark is the law.
right.
And then pretty much what they said, they came up with is, you as physician have influence.
Yeah.
And because you have influence, you cannot utilize your influence inappropriately to sway. And therefore, your attachment to certain groups, you have to not allow your attachment to group to utilize your influence for profit. That's why a doctor, say for instance, if they have ownership in like a x-ray place, they have to say to their patients, and they're required, hey, I want you to get your x-ray here, but I want you to know that I own that.
Okay.
And they're required to give you 3 options separate from the one that they own.
Alright.
So I own it, it's here in my office, but you can go to blah, 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 or here's a prescription, whichever one your insurance company lets you go.
Okay, I just ran into that, I don't know if it's the Stark Law, but it deals with, your insurance and the pharmacist. I found out that, a certain, pharmacy owns a certain Medicare Advantage plan.
Yes.
So under, if you go to them and whoever their other partners, like what are the stores that's
Is
associated
zero.
with it, is zero.
It's zero.
But as soon as I go outside
Yes,
to
you
another one,
start paying.
I start paying.
Yes, you do. And this,
And
and
that should stop falling under the
Remember.
stock law, but they give you three choices,
here we go. This is doctor.
doctors.
They came after us, man. They came after us. They came for us. They said doctors. They didn't say anything about insurance companies. So what you're talking about is an insurance company whose plan has partnered with a pharmacy so that if you go to that pharmacy, you pay nothing. If you go to another pharmacy, you pay more. For instance, in my office, there is a pharmacist that rents space for me. And I allowed him to rent because I found it was convenient if you want to get your prescription there. But some of the plans charge the patients $3 if they fill their prescriptions there. So now they want the patient to drive all the way to another pharmacy that they have a relationship to get the $0, you know, instead of allowing the pharmacy I have in my practice to get what we call contracted to give the medication. And so it's a partnership. But the start had to do with doctors. I'm telling you, they were flying us all over the place. Chocolates and dinners, they were giving all sorts of gifts. And with that, the doctors, if someone's doing something for you, who you gonna remember? You're gonna remember that person. That's why these reps come in, they give you dinner, they do blah, blah, blah. By the way, they don't pay me to come here. I come here because I'm a big educator. I'm an educator, and I hate to see people ignorant,
Right.
I'm on mission. I always say, if you ever ask about Dr. P, I'm on mission. My mission is to raise and
Educate.
elevate my people. That's my
Right.
goal. Across, so I'm on mission. But they come because that's the business. And when you understand this, it's business, it's not personal. They're not trying to hurt you, they're trying to make money. But you have to be knowledgeable.
Yes.
And don't be lazy about it. You gotta investigate, right? So if the CVS or wherever is down the street and you know it's zero, go for it, But if you have a choice, Walmart, Wally brand versus name brand, and they're the same medication, I want you to choose your pocket. Choose your pocket.
Exactly.
Choose your pocket. You may be able to get takeout that night, Press it. Now, back to the stock law. So you have to disclose if you're a physician, if you're participating, and you have to utilize, give a person choice. So they may come in and may give us a pen or two. They used to give us like gold pens. Now we can't get any gold pens.
You get regular.
Now we get a little bottle of hand sanitizer. And I guarantee you that little bottle of hand sanitizer is not going to incentivize me to write a prescription. Especially when they don't pay me for it,
That's true.
So I'm telling you, you're right. It used to be a traffic jam. The drugs rep would be in and out the offices all day, all night. That we couldn't even see patients.
And you have to wait until they're through.
Now, I can count the ones that come to my office. And I also know I don't have any sticky notes anymore. I have no sticky pads. And I ain't got no pens either.
Oh,
You
God.
know?
Yeah.
All your freebies.
Oh, my freebies are gone.
Gone,
you know?
okay.
So that's important. So what other things can we have to know? The tiers. Pay attention to the medications you're being prescribed. If you don't know what the cost is going to be, call your insurance company and ask for the pharmacy and ask them what tier is this medication. Because you're going to be cruising for bruising. You walk up to the pharmacist and they say $1,000, please.
No, ain't no bad. I'm going there.
And many of those chemo drugs are expensive. Many of some of the stomach medications, Linzess, extremely over $300. Some of the antiviral medications over $1,000. So you want to know what tier. So how do they know what tier to choose? It's all about a contract. Okay? And here's the crazy thing. 1 year a drug is on the contract,
Next year.
and the next year it's not. So you'll say, I've been on this drug for all year. Why I gotta pay tier 2 now? I never paid that. It was always 0. It goes back to the contract. Is what was the contract? What did they bargain for 2023?
Oh my goodness, so we need to look at our medication, you think we need to do
Yeah,
that?
look through your meds. Anyone's that's not generic.
Attention seniors, we have a.
Not generic. You won?
Yes.
Woo!
Wow, we got a winner.
And she came late.
So one, if it's a medication that you really want, it's not covered by your insurance.
Gotta be in the middle somewhere.
This is real important because sometimes, say for instance, and it's usually one of the, like maybe a control substance, like Xanax or diazepam. Your anxiety, and it's been helping you with your anxiety. Your insurance company, because they're afraid that you might take too many, will say, not only is it not a tier, and even if it is generic, diazepam is generic, it's non-formulary, we're not paying. Okay? What do you do? What are you gonna do?
Somebody at the door.
Pay out of pocket. But if you have to, she got something to share. So who said it? So you're gonna pay out of pocket. Or you can call your doctor and say, look, it's non-formulary. But by the time, the insurance company already sent me a letter. They already said, we don't do diazepam. I don't care if she needs it.
Right.
I don't care if she has anxiety disorder, pick something else. And the patient will tell me, Dr. Powell, I've been on for 10 years. It's the only thing that helped me. I don't want to go try something new because if I try something new, I have to go through whether it works or it doesn't work. And I know this works. And they start jumping up and down and yelling at me like I'm the one telling them they can't have the med. It's not me.
It's the insurance.
It's the insurance company. They pay your bill, so they tell you what they'll pay for. But if you decide, I want my pills, you get to pay.
Yeah, pay the
Now-
boss to be the boss.
So how do you pay? You pay by not being lazy.
Look at this.
You start looking and shopping. You start calling around. Hey, Costco, how much the cost of your diazepam? Hey, Walmart, how much is the cost of your diazepam? Mrs. Smith, I see here that you have insurance. I ain't gonna use my insurance.
But Lorena, I'm sorry, my husband was getting, I forget what it is, Arset, and the insurance is paying. But when it's over, $300 a month.
Yeah, that's because he had a code, he had a deductible. He was at a
After-
tier.
Yeah, after that was it, $300.
So you know how much that medicine costs. That's probably over 1,000, and then you had to pay the 30%.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they're saying not
And-
covered.
Not covered.
We're not paying piece of it. We're not paying half of
You gotta
it.
pay
We're
it
not
all.
paying for it.
Out of pocket.
And you say, I want it. That's when you pick up the phone and you start calling and shopping around. Where is this medication and how much? And one person will say it might be $300, $30, $20, whatever. And you find the one that will pay. Here's another thing. You never have to give your insurance card.
Say that again.
Just say the name, but not your
You
insurance.
never have to say.
say
Oh, well, I
And you
swear.
are not required to have your insurance pay for your medicines.
What?
You don't have to.
What?
You can just pay cash for all your insurance.
Oh, so if you paying out of pocket.
You don't have to.
Oh.
Say some medication, this is on the side, you should turn off the video on this one. All in all, they could be on the Oxycontin, and they be talking about you, and then they write you letters day and night, get off the Oxy, get off the Oxy, get off the Oxy.
Yeah.
And so you may decide,
You don't
That you
want it.
wanna tell it.
you just gonna pay for it yourself,
That's right.
you know? I'm just telling you.
Right.
I told you I'm here to be real. I'm not right now to teach you whether you should be on it, I'm just saying if
Right.
it's something, you know?
I understand.
You do have choice. I say you have choices.
Yeah.
You don't have to see the doctors that assigned to you. You can call up and say, I need somebody else. You know, you walk in, the room stinks or something, they got roaches on the floor, you can
Right.
walk right back out
Exactly.
and pick up your
Another room.
phone and say, don't be lazy. This is not working for me. You may be seeing somebody for 10 years, and all of a sudden they're getting old, and they don't read charts anymore, and they don't review their labs, and they just tired. We get tired, you know? It might be time to pick somebody else.
So does that mean
Don't be
that
lazy.
if you're on the PPO, is that when you can make switches, all that, is that, or can you be on the Advantage, you know?
Yeah,
I know
BPO,
you're talking about the medication, but I'm saying you saying about switching doctors and everything.
right, all you have to do is pick up your phone, and as long as it's open enrollment,
Oh, okay, that's the key.
and you wanna stay with your insurance,
Right.
you just ask, I wanna switch to a different physician. What are the doctors
Right.
in my area? You get, like my girlfriend, every person I refer her to, she drives me nuts. She gets on the internet and she like, no, I don't want that one. I don't like that one. I read the reviews. They got 3. This one got 2.
Oh,
You
gosh.
know, I saw pictures of the office.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
they got all these signs up I don't like.
Yeah.
You know, but she not lazy. She doing her homework.
She did it.
She's doing her homework.
Okay.
And I can appreciate it. It frustrates me, but I can appreciate it.
Right.
Her doing her homework, you know?
Mm.
And so, you know, ask. And you don't have to have the insurance pay for the medications, you know? But the reason we get an Advantage plan is so we stay in the Z, stay in the 0, right? Stay in the Z. You do your best to stay in the Z. And oftentimes, you know, doctors have developed preferences of medications they like. You know, because there's so many, there are thousands. And so we keep a list in our brain of the ones we know very well. You have to speak up. If you've tried Zithromax and every time you get Zithromax you break out in a rash. Or even if you don't break out in a rash, it just doesn't work. You always end up having to come back a second time to get a different antibiotic.
Right.
It's okay to speak up and say, you know, I know Zithromax is a good drug, but for me, it has not worked for me.
Right.
Can we start with a different medication to see if it works? It's okay to do that, you know? You gotta not be shy.
Can
Yes,
I ask a question? Last time you was talking about Advance and PPO,
yes.
is Advance better than PPO?
No, it's the same insurance. The only difference between, and we're talking about, let me erase this,
Freedom.
is freedom. The difference, let's take Humana for instance.
Right.
It's not a preference of mine, it's just one of the Advantage plans, okay? Take Humana. Humana has 2 forms.
Right.
They have an HMO
Right.
and they have a PPO.
Right. I got HMO.
Now, under the PPO plan, you wake up in the morning, you got a headache, you look in your book, and you go see the neurologist
Right.
for your headache. You're HMO. You wake up in the morning and you have a headache, you go to the PCP. Then the PCP says, does she need the neurologist? And if it's like me who's been doing it for 30 years and I know it's gonna take you 2 months to get to the neurologist, I say, no girl, it is not a tumor. It is not a tumor. It's a headache, you didn't drink any water, your blood sugar's high, and your blood pressure right now is high. Let's get those 3 things down. Drink your water, stop skipping your meals, and stop drinking the sugar. And come back in 2 weeks if you still have a headache.
I got headache because I go to the urgent care.
Oh, please don't order urgent care. Okay, so let's do this. So then you go to the PCP,
So,
and then the PCP says,
under PPO.
does she need the neurologist? And then if I say, well, yeah, you know, she never has headaches. She says it's the worst headache in her life.
Okay.
Oops, red flag. Not only am I going to say go get an MRI, I'm also going to pick up the phone and call my neurology friend and say, please get her in like yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, or I might say, girl, go to the ER now.
No.
You know? But either way, answer your question, if it's an HMO, you can't wake up and just go. It's not wake up though.
Yeah.
It's wake up step,
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta go
okay?
through.
Because here, you gotta get your off.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta get an authorization,
Right.
which is just permission.
Yes.
Over here, you don't need permission,
You just fly out.
but you pay more
Yeah.
for the ability to get up and go.
I think she wants to know what's the difference between an Advantage plan and all the regular ones,
Right.
commercial and all.
So last time I talked about, we have Medicare, red, white, and blue.
Red.
You gotta pay you 20%, and you get up and go anywhere you want to.
Medicaid, red, white, and blue.
It does not,
I got
include
What, 20%
prescription.
impact?
Right, you gotta get it, you have to
You gotta
pay for a
get-
prescription
Yeah,
plan.
you gotta get a separate.
Supplement, a part
The
D.
red, white, and blue, what, 20%?
20%, okay, so red, white, and blue is your Medicare card.
Right.
Once you turn 65 or disabled, you get a red, white, and blue
Right.
card. That red, white, and blue card now can be turned in for an Advantage plan. You have to turn it in. I mean, you keep it in your pocket, but you actually.
You gotta tell me the information.
So,
And returns parts.
you, instead of keeping the red, white, and blue, you can choose an Advantage plan because it's a 0000 plan. You don't pay for prescriptions and generic. You don't pay for doctor's visit. You don't pay for anything with Advantage.
Or parts, other than.
As long
Part C.
as,
Part C, that, sometimes they get, yeah.
as long as what?
Stay
You
in the
gotta
plan.
stay within the
Plan.
network.
Yeah. Stay with it.
You cannot go outside of the network
Right.
of Humana.
Okay.
But if you have the red, white, blue card,
You can.
you can go anywhere in the country
Okay, I got this.
and go.
No,
Are you
okay.
able to get, like, I'm hearing people say they get money back into their social security.
Right,
That's
So,
in your Advantage.
okay.
You can't get it back in
They
there?
do give money back.
Not in PPO though.
Yeah.
But they say
Oh,
if they not taking out
Yeah.
your social security or whatever, you don't get it back, cause they not taking nothing out.
Well, you can, nothing from nothing.
I know
leaves
you're
nothing.
not, but I'm just telling you what the lady told me when I talked to her.
You gotta start with something.
Wow, that was good. That was a good one.
Yes,
I'm working your office, I'm in the job.
But I guess I've been blessed because I got the best of both worlds. I have a POS.
Ooh, point of service. Ooh, I love it, love it, love it.
POS.
Yes.
And just so happened, it acts like an HMO as long as I stay in the network.
Right.
And thank God, all of my doctors are on the
in the
HMO
network.
side.
Right.
Should I get upset with one of them, I can also go outside the network and pick whoever I want.
Isn't that
So I
nice?
have a POS.
Wow.
That's another one that we have called the POS, okay? Now,
What qualify you for that?
you choose it, you choose it. It's just something, you have to shop,
You gotta
you
make sure
gotta
make sure
shop
whoever you're
around.
under.
If you got the, your health card and the red, white, and blue, you could get a POS or whatever.
You can turn it in. You cannot keep the
Both of
straight Medicare and select any one of these plans. Because these plans now get money from the government, which I showed you last time,
Right.
to take care of you.
Mhm.
So the government's not going to pay
2 times.
two
Double
times.
dipping, can't do
Right,
that.
right.
They're not gonna do that.
Was they double dipping?
Yeah, double dipping. They're
That's
not
what
double
they call
dipping. Although they try,
But-
and they try, look, go ahead.
But Dr. Park, when you say turn it in, you don't have to turn it in.
I know, you just gotta let them know you wanna
Yeah,
switch
yeah,
over.
yeah, the choice.
Yes.
Make the choice.
Yeah.
So all that does is say you're now over 65 and you have Medicare, and then a Medicare provider contractor will come to you and say, hey, we have HealthSun, we have Aetna, we have Humana, and they will get funds, say you pick Aetna, they will get funds for the federal government
For you.
for you.
Mhm.
And in return, they're gonna provide you with more services
Yeah.
that you would get if you
Yeah,
only
yeah.
stayed red, white, and blue.
Right.
You'll get dental, you'll get eyes, you get hearing,
But you already get all of that.
Not on the Medicare,
not on the straight
not on the
Medicare.
plain straight white, red, white, and blue, no, you
You
don't.
pay.
We gotta have Medicaid and Medicare.
That's it, but that's a difference. You
You
gotta
know,
have
okay.
Medicaid
Yeah,
and
you gotta have
Medicare.
But
Yeah, straight up
I was-
Medicare, red, white, and
Somebody
blue.
tell me.
I was checking out some things, trying to find out how I can get that money back in my account.
How you get the
And
Medicaid?
from what I can see, you can get it back, but they're gonna take certain things, like for example, transportation. I said, okay, I drive myself, and you go to the,
Right.
so, they took like 3 things that I said, well, I didn't really know, but then, so
This is
you,
good information, excuse us, that's
so you're saying that every month now, when I change, or, you know, when I decide, then they're gonna give me $70.10?
Something.
there, it's about, I think it's about 170.
Yeah.
So every month, they'll be
Yeah.
putting that back in.
And guess what? You also get a card too. You get a
Uh,
spending card.
healthy card.
You get your OTC
flex.
card.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
over
they,
the
but
counter.
they're changing on that, they're
How much
gonna
you
give
get?
me, every
They
3
give you
months, it's
money.
gonna be every 3 months.
Everybody comes out the
to-
same.
I used to do 75 every month, but
And
now
then
they're
every-
gonna, every 3 months.
But they
you
gonna
get
increase
60.
it next
No,
month,
no, no,
in
they-
January.
It's
How
every
much-
3
how much
months.
do they
so
give
it
you
gives
now?
60.
$60?
No, they give me 75 now, but the plan I'm looking at, I says, but they said, well, you only get 60
Okay, so
every
where's
3
the
months.
rest? Okay, cause.
But
they
then
give
I
it
said,
back
well, you
on.
know, I just go buy so I won't lose it, you know, I just.
Okay,
Excuse
I
me one
just go
second.
spend-
my son gets that card, she talk about, he get $75 every month.
Right,
And he get OTC, he get what?
That's what-
That's it,
300
over the counter.
yeah,
over the counter.
yes.
Mhm.
That's the OTC card. It's called the OTC,
you
over
get
the
that.
counter.
Right.
So I
OTC.
know what I'm
And
talking about.
you
Them
don't
two.
need
yeah.
like 90 cases of toothpaste.
Exactly.
So,
Right.
you know, so you just buy 3. You get your $60, you spend
I said-
But they give you 300. Look, all the medicine you can buy for 300. Then the
But-
next 3 months, you can be a pharmacy yourself.
Yeah.
But I understand if you don't use,
All the
if I don't
medicine you
use
don't
my
want.
75 in that month, I
Really?
lose it.
Yeah.
So I have to go and buy something,
You
so
gotta
I
buy
won't lose
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
But
buy
here's the
one.
things I'm telling everybody with your cards. Last thing before I go. With your cards, there are 3 things you need in your house.
Right.
You need 1, a blood pressure machine.
Got it.
2, you need a scale.
Got it. Scale. I got this.
And you
I
choose
just
scale.
got it too.
Okay.
Scale.
And if you're diabetic, you need a glucometer.
I got that.
And the last thing that everybody home should have is a first aid kit.
I got that.
I'm covered.
I
Now,
got that.
after that, buy
Buy
whatever you
anything
want.
you want.
Buy whatever you want, okay? Oh, and I forgot one thing.
Toothpaste.
Batteries.
Oh, batteries.
Batteries.
Oh, you don't get that, you gotta take it back.
Get some batteries. All these need batteries.
You have to pay
Think
for
about
it.
it, batteries off of that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Because
that.
it drives me nuts. When last you took your blood pressure? Oh, I am taking it because it's not working. Why it's not working?
I need
I
that.
know. Did you change the batteries yet?
No.
No, I
It's the
haven't changed
best
batteries
one,
since
some
I
they
got
got
it.
the one for the wrist, and then they got the one for.
Yeah.
But
change
they got
the
the
batteries.
ones that would not
charge better.
I
got the one that charge.
The cuff or the other one?
Call fix it
The
all.
best one is, first person speaking, I personally like manual, but since you can't do it yourself, it's what's convenient. I find that the ones with the arm, if your arm has a strange shape, right? If your arm goes like this, right?
That's an arm.
The cuff.
Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
The problem with these crazy cuffs is they make them square,
Right.
but this is a V, right? So
Right.
then it has the gaps,
Right.
you know? And then it doesn't seal properly, and when it doesn't seal properly,
Yeah.
you get some weird readings or no
Yeah.
reading at all. And then you gotta reposition it, you gotta tighten it, you gotta play with it. So if your arm's V, you don't want the arm one. You get yourself the wrist one,
Right.
you know? Also, if you're by yourself, you know, and you have problems with your hands,
Yeah.
don't get the one that you gotta play with. Just get the little wrist one. Okay? The important things about blood pressure machine is timing.
Right.
It's the time. What you gotta take your pressure at the same time every day. Your pressure changes throughout the day. I know nobody tells you guys this, but it does. You know, it might be nice and calm in the morning, then by the time you run around, yell at the kids, tell them give you money, pay the rent, blah, 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 it's high. Or in the evening, you're calm, you're relaxed, you're watching the cars go by, baby, that's the best time. Pick the time you're quiet.
and not going to the doctor's office.
And not eating.
Driving.
You're not supposed to eat.
No.
You're not supposed to be walking around with it and take blood pressure. You need to sit quietly, breathe, don't talk, relax. Don't go on the speakerphone. Hey, look, I'm taking my blood pressure right now.
What about sitting on the bed and doing it? You can't do that.
You gotta be relaxed.
Yeah, you want your arm up. Some of them want it right across you. Other best is just level.
Right.
The heart level. Okay, it will be different. When to be alarmed about blood pressure, and we'll talk about vitals next time. Your blood pressure, first you wanna take it at the same time. The next thing you wanna do, you don't wanna eat, right?
Okay.
And the other thing that's really, really important, what we're looking for is change. Okay, a lot of people get stuck on the number. You know, it was 120 today, and then it was 125 tomorrow, and then it was 139. We just don't want it more than 10. Okay?
Yeah.
130, 125, no big deal. You know? 140, 145, no big deal. 130, and then the next day we're at 175.
That's a problem.
We have a problem. Okay? And don't go jumping from arm to arm. You know? Left arm, that's your heart arm. Okay?
Exactly.
Now, if you had
That's
problem
all
with
I
it,
know.
like you had breast cancer or
Yeah,
lymph
yeah.
nodes, or they done messed up the vessels, then of course you don't wanna use that one, go
Okay.
to the right one.
Yeah.
But don't be today it's the left, next day it's the right, you can't remember, then your numbers are all off, because your blood pressure is different in each side of your body. So, anyway, we'll do vitals next time. We'll
Yeah,
talk
that's
about
all right.
vitals, all right?